Every morning when you open your eyes, you face two worlds, the one outside your window and the one inside your mind. One is shaped by circumstance, the other by choice. The outside world bends, molds, and rearranges itself according to the patterns you hold within. You are not a victim of life, you are the architect of it. The world doesn't respond to your wishes. It responds to your conviction. The first thoughts you entertain each morning are the blueprints for your day. They determine whether life bends toward your purpose or away from it. If you rise with doubt, fear, and complaint, you teach the world to give you more of the same. But if you rise with faith, direction, and gratitude, you teach it to yield to your command. The difference between a successful day and a wasted one is decided long before the sun is high. It begins the moment you choose what to think. Every great mind who ever achieved anything remarkable understood this principle: the world is a mirror, and what you see is what you are. If you carry power, purpose, and persistence in your heart, the reflection becomes brighter, stronger, more cooperative. People seem to appear in your life at the right time. Opportunities unfold where doors once stood closed. The world begins to bend, not because it changed, but because you did. The secret lies in repetition. Each morning is a rehearsal for greatness or a repetition of mediocrity. You cannot think small, act small, and expect the universe to treat you like a giant. You must train your mind daily, the way a craftsman sharpens his tools. Speak to yourself of your goals until they no longer sound like dreams, but duties. See yourself as the person you intend to become until your mind accepts it as truth. Then, and only then, will the world move in harmony with your vision. Remember, nothing external can resist the steady force of a person who knows what they want and refuses to be denied. Circumstances may delay you, but they cannot defeat you. People may doubt you, but they cannot stop you. The entire fabric of reality begins to cooperate with the one who stands in unshakable belief. So watch this every morning, not just with your eyes, but with your mind. Let these words sink deep into the core of your being. You are not merely reacting to life, you are creating it. The world bends for the one who dares to hold a vision so strong, so persistent. That reality itself has no choice but to comply. Every morning begins as an empty canvas, waiting for the brush of your thoughts to define its colors. The first few minutes after you awaken are sacred. They are the moments when your mind is most open, most impressionable, and most powerful. What you feed it then determines how your entire day unfolds. The thoughts you choose in the morning don't just influence your mood, they influence your destiny. You can wake up and allow the world to dictate how you feel, or you can wake up and declare to the world how it will treat you. The difference lies in intention. The moment you open your eyes, life begins responding to the vibration of your mind. If your first thought is gratitude, you will find reasons to be grateful. If your first thought is worry, life will mirror back situations that justify that worry. The world bends not to the strongest, but to the most intentional. Your morning thoughts act as the signal you send out into the universe, and the universe, without fail, sends back a matching frequency. It's not magic, it's alignment. When you begin your day by focusing on what you desire, what you value, and what you are determined to achieve, you awaken the creative forces that move quietly beneath all visible action. You prime your mind to notice opportunities that were invisible to you before. You begin to act differently, speak differently, and think differently. And the world begins to rearrange itself accordingly. Each morning offers a choice to drift aimlessly through another day or to deliberately design it. And every design begins in thought. The human mind is a magnet. It draws to itself what it holds within. When you wake up thinking about problems, you magnetize confusion and frustration. When you wake up thinking about solutions, you draw clarity, guidance, and progress. The morning is your greatest ally if you learn to master it. Before you touch your phone, before you let the noise of the world invade your silence, stop and think. What kind of day do I want to live? What kind of person do I want to be? Then build your thoughts accordingly. The mind is like wet cement in the morning. It hardens into form as the day moves forward. Whatever impressions you leave in it early on will set the tone for everything that follows. You can't control every event that happens during the day, but you can control your inner response to it. When your first thoughts are rooted in strength, you become immune to chaos. When your mind is filled with gratitude and purpose, obstacles become detours, not dead ends. That is why the most successful people guard their mornings like treasure. They know that the first 10 minutes after waking can decide the next 10 hours. It's not about pretending life is perfect. It's about directing your awareness toward what builds you instead of what breaks you. Each morning is a rehearsal for the future. What you rehearse becomes what you perform. Imagine waking up tomorrow and deliberately choosing thoughts of power, calm, and confidence. Imagine looking in the mirror and affirming, "Today, the world bends to my belief." That statement alone sets a vibration that ripples through your actions. It affects how you walk, how you talk, how you think, And how you see others? You begin to carry yourself differently, and in response, people treat you differently. Situations seem to work in your favor, because you've aligned yourself with intention rather than reaction. The simple act of choosing your morning thoughts is the foundation of every great life ever built. It's not luck, it's not chance. It's conscious creation. The world is nothing more than a mirror reflecting back to you the thoughts and feelings you hold most often. Every person you meet, every challenge you face, every success or setback that crosses your path is a reflection of what lives within you. When you understand this truth, life stops feeling random. You begin to see that the world is constantly responding to the images you project in your mind. If you hold an image of yourself as capable, deserving, and confident, then life mirrors those qualities right back. People start to treat you differently. Opportunities seem to appear out of nowhere. But when your inner world is clouded with fear, doubt, or resentment, that same energy finds its way into your outer world. The mirror never lies, it only reflects. Most people try to change the reflection without changing the face that stands before it. They fight circumstances, they blame others, they complain about the conditions around them, never realizing that what they are experiencing is only the echo of their own dominant thoughts. The moment you adjust what's within, the outer reflection begins to shift. This is why two people can face the same situation and experience it completely differently. One sees failure. The other sees opportunity. One sees rejection. The other sees redirection. The only real difference between the two is the state of mind they choose to hold. The world bends itself to those who understand that reality is created from the inside out. You carry within you an invisible magnet made of your beliefs and emotions. Every thought you repeat strengthens that magnet, drawing to you experiences that match its vibration. When you think of lack, you draw more lack. When you think of abundance, you attract abundance. The process works without error, because the universe does not judge what you think. It simply reflects it. This is why guarding your mind is the most important discipline of all. You cannot expect to experience joy if your thoughts are constantly centered on what you fear. You cannot expect love if you dwell on bitterness. The mind is the seed and life is the soil. Whatever you plant will grow whether you like it or not. To change the reflection, you must first change the image. That means creating a clear mental picture of the person you want to become and holding that picture long enough for it to imprint itself on your subconscious. You have to feel it, believe it, and live from it long before the world shows any sign of catching up. When you carry that image with faith, the mirror of life begins to transform in subtle ways. Conversations go differently. Doors open that were once closed. People appear at just the right moment to assist your vision. It may seem like coincidence, but it's not. It's the law of correspondence in action. The world reflecting who you are becoming. Your outer conditions will always rise to meet the level of your inner conviction. If you believe you are capable of great things, you will begin to notice great opportunities. If you believe the world is against you, you will find evidence to prove yourself right. Life gives you exactly what you expect from it, no more and no less. That's why it is so vital to fill your mind with images of success, gratitude, and possibility every single morning. The reflection cannot outgrow the image it reflects. When you master your inner world, the outer world bends naturally to your will. The mirror never resists. It simply waits for you to change what it's reflecting. Conviction is the invisible force that moves mountains long before a single stone is touched. It is not mere hope or wishful thinking. It is the quiet, unshakable certainty that what you desire is already yours in spirit. The world bends to those who carry conviction because conviction carries power. When you truly believe in something, you radiate an energy that cannot be ignored. People feel it, circumstances adjust to it, and opportunities align with it. The person who doubts themselves hesitates, and hesitation invites resistance. But the one who acts with conviction creates momentum, and momentum bends reality in their favor. Life doesn't respond to your words, it responds to your certainty. Every great achievement began as a thought carried with conviction. The thought itself was no different from any other thought, but it was held with such intensity, such faith, that it began to draw the unseen into the seen. Conviction has a magnetic quality. It pulls resources, people, and timing together in a way that logic cannot explain. It makes the impossible seem inevitable. When you carry conviction, your actions take on a different energy. You walk differently, you speak with authority, and you no longer seek validation from others. The world senses your direction and instinctively steps aside to make room for you. The opposite of conviction is doubt, and doubt is the silent thief of destiny. It whispers reasons why you can't, why it's too late, why you're not ready. But conviction doesn't argue with doubt. It simply overrides it. Conviction doesn't need permission to exist. It declares itself through consistent action. Every time you move toward your vision with belief instead of fear, you strengthen the muscle of conviction. Every time you let faith speak louder than uncertainty, you teach the world how to respond to you. The moment you decide that your goal is already done, your behavior changes. You stop chasing and start aligning. You stop begging for opportunity and start commanding it. Conviction is built in silence, in the private hours when no one is watching. It's built when you choose to keep going despite the absence of evidence. The mind loves proof, but the universe rewards faith. Conviction doesn't come from what you see. It comes from what you decide to believe regardless of what you see. It's the ability to hold the image of success even while standing in the middle of apparent failure. That ability gives you authority over your environment. When you believe deeply enough, the world eventually conforms to your belief. It cannot do otherwise because conviction changes your frequency, and the world can only reflect what you radiate. When a person lives with conviction, they stop competing with others and start competing with their own potential. They no longer measure progress by immediate results, but by the strength of their belief. Conviction makes you patient because you already know the outcome. It removes anxiety because you no longer question whether it will happen. You only wonder when. This kind of inner certainty cannot be faked. It must be cultivated through daily mental discipline, through affirmations, through visualization, through the constant repetition of thought until it becomes a living truth. Conviction commands respect. It commands cooperation. It commands reality itself. When you speak with conviction, your words carry weight. When you act with conviction, your results carry impact. The world may test you, delay you, even doubt you, but it cannot resist the force of someone who refuses to entertain the possibility of defeat. Conviction is the highest form of power available to any human being. It is what transforms ordinary people into leaders, dreamers into creators, and thoughts into tangible form. Repetition is the foundation upon which mastery is built. The mind learns through repetition, shapes itself through repetition, and ultimately believes through repetition. What you repeat each day becomes what you are. Most people underestimate the power of this simple law because they expect transformation to happen in an instant. But life does not bend to the occasional act. It bends to the consistent pattern. Every thought you revisit strengthens a mental pathway, and every action you repeat reinforces an identity. The person who commits to daily repetition of powerful habits and thoughts gradually becomes unstoppable because their direction is no longer dependent on mood or circumstance. They have trained their mind to obey their intention. Every morning presents a choice to repeat the patterns that weaken you or the ones that build you. The body becomes what you consistently feed it, and the mind is no different. Repetition of fear breeds hesitation. Repetition of courage breeds confidence. When you make it a habit to focus on what you want instead of what you fear, your subconscious mind begins to treat success as normal. What once felt difficult starts to feel natural. You stop struggling to change because the change has already taken root deep within you. Consistency transforms effort into ease, and repetition turns intention into instinct. Those who succeed at the highest levels are not necessarily the most talented, they are the most consistent. They understand that daily repetition programs the mind far more effectively than bursts of short-lived inspiration. They repeat affirmations, they visualize their goals, they move in alignment with their vision day after day, even when progress seems invisible. This is the quiet discipline that separates dreamers from doers. The person who keeps planting the same seed of thought every morning will one day stand in a forest of results. The soil of the mind cannot resist the power of persistent planting. Repetition does not only shape your thoughts, it reshapes your beliefs. Every time you affirm that you can, you weaken the belief that you can't. Every time you act in faith, you train your subconscious to respond with confidence. Slowly, your internal dialogue begins to change. The voice of doubt fades, replaced by the steady rhythm of assurance. The things you once forced yourself to do now become effortless because they've been repeated into your nature. Just as water carves canyons through stone by persistence alone, so repetition reshapes the deepest parts of your mind. Many people give up too soon because they mistake repetition for stagnation. They fail to realize that behind every act of repetition, something powerful is happening. Neurons are rewiring, habits are forming, and identity is being forged. The results may not appear right away, but beneath the surface, transformation is taking place. Those who stay committed long enough eventually experience a moment when effort turns into momentum. That is the point when life begins to bend in their favor. The repetition that once felt like work now feels like flow. You begin to wake up each morning not needing motivation because your habits have already decided your direction for you. To master repetition is to master creation. Whatever you repeat, you become. Whatever you rehearse, you will one day perform. Each morning, your thoughts set the rhythm, and the world moves in time with it. Success is not born from grand gestures or sudden leaps, but from the quiet, daily repetition of right thinking and right action. The universe aligns itself with consistency because repetition is the language of belief, and belief is the force that bends the world. Faith is the bridge between the invisible and the visible, the link that connects your desire to its manifestation. It is not blind optimism, nor is it denial of reality. Faith is the decision to believe in a greater outcome, even when logic cannot yet confirm it. It is the inner knowing that the unseen forces of life respond to confidence far more than to doubt. Fear paralyzes action, but faith energizes it. Fear focuses on what might go wrong. Faith focuses on what must go right. The person who moves through life with faith walks with a quiet authority, knowing that the path ahead will rise to meet them because their belief commands it to. Life has a peculiar way of rearranging itself in favor of those who refuse to entertain fear. Faith is not something you are given, it is something you develop. It grows stronger with use, just like a muscle. Every time you choose to believe in yourself despite uncertainty, you strengthen it. Every time you take a step forward without seeing the full staircase, you teach your subconscious that you are guided, supported, and capable. Faith requires courage because it often means acting without proof, trusting without guarantee, and holding your vision when others see nothing at all. Yet this very act of trust sets unseen forces into motion. The moment you decide to believe completely, coincidences begin to unfold, timing aligns, and life begins to work in your favor. Fear will always whisper. It will try to convince you that you are not ready, that the odds are too high, that the timing is wrong. But faith listens to a different voice, the voice that says, I will find a way. The difference between those who rise and those who remain stuck is not intelligence, background, or luck. It is the ability to believe when belief seems unreasonable. Faith doesn't eliminate fear, it simply refuses to let fear lead. It allows you to walk through doubt without being defined by it. Those who possess faith understand that setbacks are not signs of defeat, but signals for growth. They do not panic when plans change because they know that unseen order often hides within temporary chaos. Faith also creates focus. When you truly believe in an outcome, distractions lose their pull. You stop wasting energy on worry because your mind is fixed on what must be. You begin to carry yourself as if success were already certain, and that energy becomes magnetic. People respond to it, opportunities are drawn to it, and the world bends to accommodate it. Faith transforms ordinary actions into extraordinary outcomes because it adds conviction to every step. You don't merely hope things will work, you know they will, even if the when and how remain unseen. That knowing changes the way you think, the way you speak, and the way you move. Faith and fear cannot occupy the same space. One must yield to the other. Every thought you think is a choice between the two. When you choose faith, you open doors that fear would have kept shut. When you choose fear, you close off the possibilities that faith could have revealed. The mind must be trained daily to side with faith, especially when appearances suggest otherwise. The world is constantly testing the strength of your belief, not to discourage you, but to help you prove to yourself how powerful your faith really is. The one who stands firm in belief, when evidence is missing, eventually becomes the one who receives evidence in abundance. The unseen always bends to those who hold unwavering faith in what they have decided will be. You are not a victim of circumstance, you are the creator of it. The world does not shape you, you shape the world through the power of your thoughts, emotions, and expectations. Every condition in your life is a mirror reflecting your dominant mindset. When you hold a belief long enough, it begins to express itself through action, tone, energy, and behavior, and the world mirrors it back with precision. People sense your confidence or insecurity long before you speak a word. Opportunities are drawn to those who act like they belong to them. The energy you carry determines the doors that open and the ones that stay closed. You are constantly teaching life how to treat you through the vibration you project. When you understand that you are the creator, everything changes. You stop waiting for permission, for luck, for the right moment. You realize that every moment becomes right when you decide it is. The world does not respond to hesitation, it responds to decision. When you think from a place of power, life begins to adjust itself to match your belief. When you think from fear, life responds with resistance. Every event, every encounter, every opportunity is molded by the consciousness you bring to it. The person who walks with purpose finds direction. The person who walks with doubt finds confusion. The difference lies not in the path, but in the perception. To become the creator of your world, you must first take ownership of your thoughts. You cannot think one thing and expect another. You cannot fill your mind with limitation and expect abundance. The law of creation is exact. It gives back to you whatever you consistently think and feel. When you replace complaint with gratitude, circumstances begin to shift. When you replace hesitation with action, progress accelerates. Life bends for the one who has taken full responsibility for their inner state. Those who blame the world remain trapped by it. Those who command their mind master it. Creation begins within. long before it becomes visible. The dream, the vision, the plan all originate as invisible thoughts that, when repeated with feeling, take on form. Your mind is the workshop of creation, and belief is its blueprint. The clearer your inner image, the faster it manifests. The world doesn't resist you. It simply waits for a definite pattern to follow. When you hold that pattern with consistency, reality takes shape around it. This is why two people can face the same challenge and produce completely different results. One sees limitation, the other sees opportunity, and the world simply reflects their interpretation. Creation also requires emotional alignment. Thinking alone is not enough. Feeling completes the process. The emotion you attach to your thought gives it life. Fear weakens thought, faith strengthens it. The universe responds more to vibration than to words, and your vibration is determined by how you feel about what you think. When your mind and emotions are in harmony, the results are inevitable. That is why calm confidence is more powerful than desperate effort. It sends a clear signal that you are certain of your outcome, and certainty attracts cooperation from everything around you. To live as a creator is to live consciously. It means watching the patterns of your mind, observing what you allow to take root, and intentionally shaping your inner world until it matches the outer one you desire. The more disciplined your thoughts, the more precise your creation becomes. You stop reacting to life and begin orchestrating it. You begin to see that the people, opportunities, and events entering your experience are not random. They are reflections of your dominant state of being. The world bends easily for those who understand that reality is not something to endure, but something to design, not something to wait for, but something to command through thought, feeling, and unwavering focus.